Allie,
Yes.
have you ever gotten a text from your sibling saying that your mom is pregnant?
I sure haven't. I sure as hell have not. Have you?
No, but I know somebody who did.
Oh, tell us about it. What's the tea,
And
girl?
that just happened this week to my partner Langston, who woke up to a text from their sibling,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a People magazine article. It was a People magazine article that said, Trina McGee, 54, pregnant.
Trina McGee is Langston's mother.
Yes. And
And she was also,
she was also on Boy Meets World
yeah, she was
in
on
the main cast.
Yeah, so we don't really we know that's their mom,
Yeah.
but we don't really talk about it a lot.
Yeah, I think it's something that Langston prefers not to talk about too much just because of, I mean, A, it's just like people our age kind of freak out about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then B, they don't talk that much to each other. So it's
Yeah.
just kind of. But anyway, so this is just like, kind of a cherry on top of that
Yeah.
reasoning for not talking about the mom too
Yeah,
much.
it kind of made sense to me. I saw this Instagram post from the Shade Room, which Kadar follows, and they usually just put like the tea up for a lot of different things. And they posted her announcement on Instagram, and they said Trina McGee at age 54 is pregnant, and Kadar was like, Allie, isn't Trina McGee Langston's mom? And I was like, yeah, why? And then I saw that, and Langston found out the same way that we found out.
Yeah.
Pretty much, like the like
through
she
word
didn't
of
tell.
mouth. So that's the crazy part to me is that like her 3 current children find out through Instagram.
Yeah, she did not contact them. She still hasn't contacted
Still hasn't.
them
Yeah.
about her being pregnant at 54.
I mean, I was kind of like,
That's crazy because as a mom, I would probably want to tell my current kids first
I don't know.
that, hey guys, you are going to have another sibling. This is a big deal. Like, let's talk about it. But she has not talked about it with
No,
anybody.
she's like in Belize, and I think that she's just
living her life.
kind of living her life and not really thinking about her adult children, which
Yeah.
like happens, but it's also like I've met her. She's a nice lady. Like she's really nice, but I think that it's like told you.
We hear you're really sweet, but the way you went about this may not be the best.
Yeah, I mean, just like you should maybe tell your current children that they're gonna have a sibling.
Yeah, that's kind of awful to find out not through you.
Yeah.
So, girl, no shade, no hate, but also 54 having a kid is kind of crazy. Like, the fact that like you're 54 having a kid, like you're kind of old having a kid, but also the fact that your body is allowing you to have a kid.
It's like a geriatric.
Yeah.
Pregnancy, it's considered that, even though you're not geriatric
Right.
age, you're geriatric pregnancy age after 37.
Yeah, so you're, so it'll be interesting to see. I mean, also it's crazy to think that like when the kid is 20, she's going to be 74.
Oh, 74. Why did I think 70? Yeah, 74.
She'll be 74, and that's pretty old. They can do that. They can live their life. It's fine, but it's just different. And I mean, who knows? Like humans are living longer these days.
Yeah,
and Langston said they've got magical blood and genetics.
They're brujas.
Yeah, so they might be fine. So that's the tea.
That's the tea. We also had a weekend, and I think as the last 2 weekends went, we started it out at Black Cat.
Mm-hmm. We started at Black Cat, editing the pod, and then when we were done, we went to your house.
Yeah.
And then we went to someone else's house.
Yeah, well, we went to my house, and then my friend was she was meeting up at a friend's house to kind of pregame.
Oh, yeah, pregame.
And we went there, and it was actually really cool because it was a bunch of, like, queer girls and theys in their 30s.
Yeah,
like,
it was really fun.
yeah, in their late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
But like, it was just cool because I feel like I'm proud of Shiori for finding a community because that was hard to find when I was single. And
Mhm.
I don't know, just a good group.
Yeah,
of
I liked all
people.
of them.
Yeah, I like them too.
That
It
was
was
fun.
fun. We had some
Mhm.
tequila,
Mhm.
and we went to High Tops, which is a gay bar,
Mhm.
but it's like mostly just a gay male bar.
Yeah.
So they decided to leave, and we stayed because we didn't want to go somewhere else. We wanted to be able to walk home.
Yeah, we were really close to our house at that point, so we were like, "Oh, you want to drive somewhere else?" No.
Yeah.
Like we want to go home when we want
Well,
to
I
go
think
home.
like from the beginning of it, we were both like kind of
yeah.
like not
Should we?
super excited about going out, but I'm glad we did. It was cool to meet new people.
Yeah, it was a good time, and then it was pretty clutch that we could walk home.
Yeah. But I fell asleep immediately. You did not.
I didn't. I had a little secondary party outside of my apartment. I'm sure our neighbors all hate us, but my neighbors were outside when I got home, and they were all drinking and smoking weed, and I was like drunk at that point. So I was like, "Hey guys," and I was like, let me go inside and like put my shit down, and then I'm gonna come back out here. And I did, and they were giving me Modelo's, and I just kept drinking, and it was really fun.
Just like
actually,
a little porch party.
It was a porch party. It was like a stoop party. But I met the guy who lives directly above me, and he, like, the people above me, I always hear them at like 4:00 in the morning.
Oh.
And it sounds like there's elephants running around upstairs. And he was like, "Oh, you live above me? Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, me and my girlfriend both work at In-N-Out, and we get home at 4:00 in the morning, and we have like a big dog." And I was like,
the dog is running around.
Yeah, I was like, I knew it was a dog. Like, it seemed like a dog. I was like, don't worry about it. Like, I hear you. I do hear you. But I was like, don't feel bad. It's not, it's not your fault.
He should get a carpet, though, if he doesn't have one.
Well,
like a big rug.
Yeah, but I mean, still,
Honestly, though, if you live upstairs, you need a big rug.
I don't know. My thing was, I was like, listen, we all live in an apartment. We're gonna hear each other.
Your apartment is like extremely loud, though.
Yeah.
Like compared to mine and where I lived before, like I've never lived somewhere that loud.
Yeah, it's pretty loud. I've gotten used to it.
I feel like I would like it's not like bad. Like I was still able to like work there.
Yeah.
Like during the day.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of weird noises, like from a lot of different directions.
Yeah, you can hear everything.
Yeah.
So it's but it was kind of nice. He was like, "I'm so sorry." Like,
yeah, it's nice.
I was
to
like,
see the
"Bro,
face.
don't worry about it." And then he was like, "You're my new favorite neighbor." And I was like, "Oh my god!" So we were
Is
just
he
bonding. Yeah, he's like probably in his late 20s or early or mid 20s. But I always see them walking their dog, and it's really cute because it's a pit bull. And yeah, it was just funny, like, to talk to everybody and like be wasted and just like shooting the shit out front. And I finally was like, I gotta go to bed. This is,
it's getting late.
I'm getting late, but it was a really fun time.
Oh, that reminds me, speaking of apartments, we just had a new guy move in next to ours. So like our building, I mean, we live in a courtyard with a bunch of different like standalone kind of buildings, but our building has 4 units and 2 upstairs, 2 downstairs, and they both mirror each other. And we're upstairs, and the one that mirrors us upstairs has been vacant for like probably 3-4 months now. It's been really nice because we don't share walls with anybody.
Yeah, but now you do.
But yeah, a guy just moved in, and I didn't tell you this, but I've been hearing his guitar.
Yeah,
He plays like bass or something, like with an amp. Which I could see getting annoying at some point because I can hear it like when I'm working during the day. That's where I hear his stuff the most because downstairs is where my office is, and we're like closest to his walls there, and so I can kind of hear it. But so far it hasn't been that bad. I don't think he's doing it for like hours on end. He just kind of like plays around a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think like I could see it being annoying if he did it like for hours during the day when I'm trying to work. Yeah. I like music though, but it's like, you know, I don't want to be one of those neighbors, but also I've been spoiled with not having a roommate next door.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about cocaine.
Cocaine?
Cocaine.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. I've never heard of it either, which is why I was like so curious about researching it today.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know too much about it. We've never done it because we don't do drugs.
I just heard that maybe it was like Coca-Cola, and then I was like, oh, people do it as a drug.
Right.
That's all I know.
That's all we know. So we wanted to look into it because, you know, it's a drug and June is drug month. And why not go with some cocaine?
Yeah, exactly. I'm Kirsten.
I'm Allie.
And you're listening to
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for cocaine.
So, cocaine. We all know it. Do we?
We all know it.
We all know it. We've all done it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never done it. So
Never. Not we all have done it.
It's interesting because there's been evidence of... So cocaine comes from the coca plant, which is a lot... It's found a lot in rainforests in South America.
Like the coffee bean.
Yeah, like the coffee bean. And there's actually been evidence of people chewing on the coca plant in Peru and in South America dating back to 5000 BC. So it's been around for as long as the world has been around, it seems, or at least humans have been around. And the early indigenous people used to chew on the coca leaves because it would give them energy and it would help them do their tasks for the day, whether it be like agriculture or, you know, finding food or whatever. Like, it would just help them have the energy to do that. So it became really popular and pretty like normal in indigenous communities.
I would like to try a coca leaf.
I would definitely try a coca leaf, and I wonder if it's almost like caffeine today.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how it compares to caffeine. But, so, you know, the indigenous people knew what was up, obviously. And the coca leaf would increase oxygen intake, so gives you more stamina. They had thin air at high altitudes, and it would help with that, too. And then, through chemically synthesizing the coca leaf, the white crystal powder we have now was created. So it all comes from that leaf. Crack cocaine is the most popular way to use cocaine in our country, at least.
Okay.
And, you know, it all just comes from this leaf, which is what I'm trying to say.
I have a date. So cocaine was first isolated as the active ingredient of the coca plant by Albert Niemann of the University of Göttingen in Germany in 1859.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big one.
Yeah, it was 1859, but it wasn't actually recognized until 1880 by the medical world, which is kind of how it took off, was because medical doctors and psychologists started playing with it.
But people were doing it long before then, as we've said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in 1883, German physician Theodor Aschenbrandt administered cocaine to members of the Bavarian army to enhance their endurance on maneuvers. And his study, published in a German medical study journal, was read by none other than the Viennese neurologist Sigmund Freud.
Yeah, and Sigmund Freud super promoted cocaine as a safe and useful tonic that could cure depression and sexual impotence, which I think is funny because
Freud is so obsessed with sex.
Yeah, he's a weirdo kind of, but he was the one who was like writing books, writing research papers, like pretty much shouting from the mountaintops about this cocaine drug that is just amazing. And it's kind of like people started making tonics because of him, and using it in medical research and stuff because of him. And he actually got addicted to it for 12 years.
Damn. Well, he published a book on coca in which he recommends the use of cocaine to treat a variety of conditions, including morphine addiction.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Okay, dude. And then, as you know, I'm sure you know, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners know, in 1886, John Pemberton used cocaine as the main ingredient in his new soft drink, Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Which we've all heard that kind of...
I think, people know that lore of, like, it being laced with cocaine.
Yeah, and that's what made it so popular.
Made. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's 1886. And that actually didn't last long, because around 1901 is when Coca-Cola removed it from their formula.
Yeah, and I think it's because a lot of people were kind of like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
Like, I think people were catching on to the bad part of it, like the addictive part of it. And so they got him to remove it in the super early 1900s.
Yeah, it's like less than 15 years it lasted.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? My great grandmother was born in 1898, so she was alive during this time. She was
drinking that cocaine.
Well, she was
Coca-Cola.
a baby, so she probably wasn't. But her parents might have been.
Her parents were probably drinking the cocaine.
Yeah.
Well, it was also promoted very heavily by Thomas Edison, creator of the light bulb. He was saying it had miraculous effects, and there weren't any restrictions placed on these drugs in the early 1900s, so they were kind of accepted as a way of life for a lot of people, even people of stature. And it became like a mainstay, like it became like just a normal thing in the silent film industry at the time, because pro-drug messages started coming out of Hollywood, and, the influences that the silent film industry had, it trickled down into America and influenced more people to use cocaine.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like before it was regulated.
Yeah, that was before they like put any restrictions or laws based off of it.
Yeah. And then there's a tax act. I don't know if you saw this one, but like in 1914, the Harrison Narcotics Tax Act is passed. And then that regulates the taxes on sales of opium, heroin, cocaine for the first time.
Mm.
So that's like when it kind of starts. People are starting to realize, this is a
thing. Some years later, after that, the dangers of the drug became more apparent, and people started, getting addicted, and the terminology dope fiend started shortly after that, saying that the behavior of a person abusing cocaine for long periods of time would cause them to fiend for it, because it's such a powerful stimulant. And a person might go days or weeks without sleeping or eating properly.
So, like, this is kind of a problem.
Yeah. So after Pemberton removed it from the Coca-Cola, the country started to notice. And then in 1920, cocaine was added to the list of narcotics to be outlawed during the passing of the Dangerous Drug Act of 1920. So it was fun for a while.
Fun while it lasted. But that's like almost 40 years that it was kind of like
just people were just
unregulated.
Yeah. I mean, what a time to be alive.
There was the 1914 thing, but like that's just it being taxed.
Right, and that was probably like the first step to getting it on prohibition.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, I would love to grow up in the roaring 20s. Well, I don't know. As a woman, I'm going to take it back.
Yeah, it sounds cute.
We didn't have rights,
but
there was a lot of like slavery aftermath,
racism.
Shit. Yeah,
there still is. But yeah, women did not have rights. Black people did not have rights. Gay people did not have rights. So maybe not. But You know, in theory, it sounds like a cute time to be alive. I also read something about where before it was like outlawed, basically, a lot of surgeons would start to play around with it for like surgical anesthetic. And this one surgeon, he's an ophthalmologist, Carl Kohler, he experimented with cocaine when he was doing cataract surgery. You know, cataract surgery, they're not under anesthesia. So he was seeing that the patients would kind of flinch when the scalpel, or like they could feel it when the scalpel would go onto the eye. And so he started soaking the eyes in a cocaine tincture type substance, and it kind of numbed it so they didn't feel the scalpel and they didn't flinch. So it was used a lot, like for a lot of different reasons before it became outlawed.
So everybody do cocaine.
Yeah, except don't do crack, because crack was a huge epidemic in the 80s. And
Yeah.
it causes your life to crumble.
Just like probably don't do either. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
just don't do either, because don't do drugs. But
I found some information on crack and freebasing.
okay, tell us.
So there are some sources that say freebase and crack is the same thing, but
What is
actually it's not.
freebase?
Okay, so freebasing is the process of freeing the cocaine base from the salt form, which cocaine naturally has. And so basically it's like the purified form of cocaine. But crack is not purified. It's an impure form.
Yeah, because
of
you add
freebase.
fucking ammonia to it.
No, freebase is where you add ammonia.
No. Oh.
Crack is literally just baking soda and Coke. So here's a recipe.
Okay.
1 gram of cocaine in 10 milliliters of water in a small vial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, imagine this. And then you add drops of ammonia into the solution.
Which sounds sketchy.
And then it starts to look white and milky.
Okay.
This is a precipitate. And then you stop adding the ammonia when the drops no longer result in this precipitation. Then we add 5 milliliters of ethyl ether. Close the vial and shake it.
Okay.
All right. Then the precipitate, aka freebase. So this is basically removing the salt, I think.
Oh, okay.
Dissolves in the ether.
Okay.
Then you're gonna siphon it off with a pipette, and then you drip it onto the plate. As the ether evaporates, you'll see white crystals.
Oh.
And that's freebase. But crack is much easier to make, which is, I think, why it's more popular, basically. So crack is 2 parts of OK Coke HCl for 1 part baking soda.
Oh, so it's after you make that little mixture with the ammonia and the ethyl.
Oh, is it? Oh, maybe.
The ethyl, whatever. Then you add the baking soda, maybe?
Actually, I don't want to say that that's the truth.
I don't know either. All I have about crack is it's produced by dissolving powdered cocaine in a mixture of water and ammonia, boiling it down into a solid form, broken into smaller chunks or rocks, and then those rocks can be smoked.
Well, this is mixed 2 parts of OK Coke HCl, which I don't know what that means, but 1 part baking soda in 20 milliliters of water. Heat the solution until white precipitates form and stop heating when the precipitation stops. Filter and keep the precipitate. Wash it once with water. Dry it under a lamp. Voila.
Voila, and then you got yourself some crack cocaine.
But one funny story is I had a dream once that I saw someone making crack. And it was in high school. It was a dream. It didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And it was in high school, and we had this, like, weed drug dealer, because this is Indiana, and weed was illegal at the time. And the drug dealer, I forget his name, but we went to his house, because actually normally he would come and bring the weed out to us, but we had to go to the bathroom really bad, and he was like, okay, like, you could just come in and use the bathroom. And so we go in, we, like, walk through his kitchen. He's like, don't touch the pot. We, like, looked down at the pot, and he was making crack.
Whoa. You were dreaming that did not happen in real life.
It was a dream.
Sure. It was a dream. Kirsten wasn't hanging out at no sketchy places in real life, or was she? Anyway, so people got hooked on crack in the 80s because it is an intense high. It's way more addictive than the powder. And it's also a lot cheaper than cocaine. So it used to sell in 1985. Crack sold for $5 a rock in most cities.
But I want to know like how much a rock can like last.
I don't know. But the first crack house was discovered in Miami, surprise, surprise, in 1982. The DA thought it was just a localized phenomenon, but by 1983, crack appeared in New York and then also spread to the major cities. So that's funny that it was like the first crack house was in Miami.
I'm not
surprised.
I feel like Miami gives me cocaine vibes.
Oh, 100%. That's
Yeah.
what I think about Miami. Like, just, I've never been there. You have.
Yeah, I went one time.
But I've never been there. But I just imagine, like, these people
Just
always
doing
doing
lines of
coke,
coke?
like, everywhere.
Yeah, but apparently
the
crack
clubs.
too.
Yeah. I saw someone smoking crack on Sunset the other day.
That'll happen. Happens to the best of us.
Happens to the best of us. You know?
Here's some like anonymous experience excerpts from the website arrowid.org.
Which is old school. This is where I used to get all my drug information from.
I actually quite like this website. It's old, but it's like legit. There's a lot of research on it.
Yeah, and it's not like I like it because it's not like don't do drugs. It's like this is what happens.
It's not from like a website that's saying don't do drugs. It's
Yeah.
like just factual.
Yeah.
So crack, I soon and it has stuff like this experience excerpts.
Yes.
So crack, I soon discovered has one big difference for me from coke. When I would binge on coke, I would always reach a point where it just didn't do anything for me, which makes sense. After 6, 7, or 8 hours of partying, each new line didn't get me high, and I would feel like shit and stop. Crack was different. Each hit got me high. Only as the night goes on, the high lasts less and less time each hit, but each hit holds the promise of a new high. That's what makes it so addicting. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because, from what I've heard.
Yeah, we don't really know.
We would never know. But from what I heard, like when you do coke, honestly, I was kind of like
disappointed.
Yeah,
me too.
I was kind of disappointed. It seemed kind of anticlimactic.
But
when I dreamed about it, it was disappointing.
I also think that could be an ADHD thing because like it's a stimulant, and stimulants like affect people with ADHD less because I think like we actually like
kind of need it. That makes sense because, when I dreamed about doing it for the first time, I was like, that's it?
Yeah.
Like it
same.
can be fun. Like, it can be fun. We've never done it together.
Yeah, we've never done it together.
Or at all. But
like, if we dreamed about it, it would be, like, kind of fun, maybe.
Yeah, I imagine it would be kind of fun. It definitely makes you want to party, gets you talkative.
But I think, like, I would have only ever done it in a drinking sense. Like, drinking and
I've
doing
never
it
just
at the same time. So I think it, like, the lines cross of, like, oh, am I just more talkative because I'm a little tipsy? Or is it because of this?
I also find it's really hard to get drunk when you do it.
Yeah.
In my dreams.
Me too. One thing that I did experience, like, the first time I did it, when I was really young, I used to never get hangovers from drinking. Like, it was really rare. And, like, my hangovers were never really that bad. I could just, like, wake up at 8 a.m. and go to class.
Same.
Like, it was fine.
The good old days.
Yeah, I was just, like, I didn't really understand people that would get really bad hangovers. But Coke, in my dream, gave me a really, really bad hangover.
The first time I did Coke in my dream, I felt like I was hit by a bus the next day.
Yeah, and I didn't even do that much.
But I also
like 2 or 1.
Was that in Indiana?
Yeah.
I feel like small
that's
town.
Some fucking weird ass shit they
smaller
were taking.
town. Yes, dude. Because that's when in my dream I first did it in Charleston.
Yeah.
And I felt like complete shit the next day. And then when I moved to LA,
I guess that's kind of true.
And I, in my dream, tried it. I was like, oh, this feels better. And the next day I was not like, I felt a little hungover, but I didn't feel like I felt in Charleston.
Yeah. If I think about it, like, my memory is the same way. And it's like, it should have been easier back in Indiana because I was like 22.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's just the pureness of shit here.
Yeah, I think it is.
But yeah, that's really funny.
These days, if you and I consume cocaine in our dream, we test it.
Yeah.
Because
Because of fucking fentanyl.
fucking
and
fentanyl.
It's an epidemic. And it's scary.
They'll be mixing fentanyl into everything now, and I don't trust it. I'm scared of dying
Literally
that
dying.
way. And yeah, so we are, if we did it, we would be really responsible about it and get a testing kit off Amazon
Yeah.
and test it because we're smart.
There's also a lot of clinics that give away testing kits for free. Like,
Oh, hey.
there are a lot of like nonprofits that do that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
well,
they're
I mean,
easy
you
to
might
get for
as
free.
well like test it, just see, make sure it's pure. Like, don't
Yeah.
have any fentanyl in there because that's how you die.
Yeah, the big thing that
and
you want to be
that's not
testing
fun.
for is fentanyl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but don't do drugs.
Don't do
obviously,
drugs, obviously. We're just talking about our dreams that we did them.
Yeah, we
before
just
in the
have.
past, and
Yeah,
we don't
just
do them anymore.
No, but if we were, we would definitely test it.
I'm saying we never did and we never will. Yeah.
Yeah,
But we would test it.
We would test it.
Yeah.
Which I think is good advice, to be honest with you. If you're gonna do it,
Okay.
maybe test it, because that's how you die. Also, I want to
Also,
say,
don't make freebase just because I taught you how to make it.
Yeah, don't make it. That sounds sketchy.
Yeah.
You don't want to do
Don't.
that.
I just read an internet post. Who knows who wrote that?
We 100%, jokes aside, have never made crack.
No, I've never made crack. I've never
tried
made
it.
freebase. Like,
I don't want to try it.
I'm not into that. Also, just reading that testimonial, it's like, I think I would become so addicted by it.
Yeah, that scares
like,
me.
I have that kind of addictive personality where, well, I
don't, but I think I still would get addicted.
I used to not, but honestly, like, since the pandemic, I think I've gotten, like, more addictive than before.
Yeah, it just
But-
sounds, I don't know. There's things that I will just 100% never try unless, there was a meteor coming towards the earth and we all knew we were going to die in the next 24 hours. Like, Don't Look Up in that movie.
Yeah,
I
maybe
would
try.
probably try it if it was available to me, but that's the only time. I know a lot of people who are addicted to cocaine right now in my life, and some in the past, who have since gotten over that addiction. But it's really sad because I just worry about, like, it's a stimulant, so I worry about, like, the effects on the heart and all that stuff when you're doing it all the time. Like,
Yeah, and
it
affects your
changes
sleep.
you.
Like, sleep is so important, and if you're not getting good enough sleep,
and people who are on it, like, on a lot of it, are annoying as fuck.
yeah, it makes you super impulsive and like
Selfish, kind of.
it can make you really like aggressive too.
Yeah.
and-
It's not a good look, but every once in a while, if you guys, maybe for like New Year's Eve.
Go to dive bar bathroom and take lines off the toilet.
Yeah, just make
Wait, don't
sure
do
you
that.
test it first.
Don't-
No, don't do drugs.
I was expecting you not to say.
I was like, yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds great off the
Give me a
toilet.
key bump.
Key bump is better, but
Yeah, it's better. But yeah, no, don't do drugs.
we
If
don't
you-
do drugs.
We don't. I actually haven't done coke in a long time in my dream.
I've never done it in my dreams ever, so
Oh.
Yeah.
We did it 2 years ago.
in my dreams, yeah.
In our dreams, we did it 2 years ago. We
Yeah.
both had the same dream. It was so crazy. But that's the last time for me. And I feel like I'm just kind of getting old, so I don't know. I don't really know if I'd ever
Yeah.
do it again in my dream.
I think I would do it again in my dreams.
You think so?
I don't know. Sometimes, like, I have my little bursts of, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
But-
true. I don't want to say never will I ever do it again in a dream again, but you never know.
Yeah, I think, like, for me, it's, like, I have, like, especially in the summer, I just feel like I want to try things and, like, go out and do things and be a girl of the night. Not
Girl
even
of
a
the night.
but, like, a girl of the town.
Yeah.
Girl around town.
Girl
you know?
around town. Oh, a white girl running around town.
And I don't mean that, like, in a prostitute kind of way. I just mean that in a girl who likes the nightlife kind of way.
Mhm. Yep.
Uh-huh. All right, guys.
That's all I got.
That's all. Thanks for listening.
We
Please
didn't. Oh, I gotta say, we didn't bless and hex anyone this week.
Yeah, we didn't. It was because we didn't really have any like really good ones.
I do have one blessing.
Okay.
Just one blessing. And honestly, it's probably a good thing we didn't have anyone to hex this week.
Yeah, I
that
agree.
means we're not mad at anyone.
Yeah, we didn't have anything significant except for like Kanye a little bit, but we don't have
Kanye
to talk about that.
sucks.
Just look
We
it
all
up.
know he sucks. Just
Yeah.
look it up. He can get hexed if you guys want. But I want to bless the first Mexican female president.
Bless.
Her name is Claudia Sheinbaum. Claudia Sheinbaum.
Bless.
I think she was like the governor or the mayor of Mexico City, and she did a lot of good stuff there. And then they just literally a few days ago elected her as president of Mexico, and she has a lot of good stances. I like her, so I want to bless her.
Hell yeah.
I want to bless Mexico. Hopefully this is a good thing. So good job, Claudia.
I mean, that just makes me think of our episode where we talked about all of the other countries that have had women in
So now we can add
office.
Mexico to that list.
And we still haven't. And
Not
we're
America.
probably going to end up with a white man octogenarian.
100%.
Odds are.
100%.
But, you know.
So that's just a little, that's just what I want to throw in there.
Yeah, I'm
We're
happy
going to
about
bless
that.
her. No hexing this week. So just relax, Coven. We don't need you to do
Hex
any.
anyone,
Yeah, we don't need any.
Unless you have somebody that you want to
Unless
hex.
you want.
If you have somebody you want to hex, let us know and we will.
We'll hex
we
them
will-
for you.
Yeah. I mean, as long as it's valid,
Yeah.
we'll hex them.
Yeah, as long as they deserve it.
But yeah, guys, follow us. Thank you so much, Pod, on just about anything. And
Send us an email.
Send us an email. We've been reading all of your emails, and they're
Mhm.
really enjoyable
Yeah.
to watch.
Maybe we'll.
Or, I mean, to read.
Maybe we'll read one on air one day.
Yeah. So we're just waiting for the best one.
Yeah, just keep sending them. Keep sending those emails.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot in our inbox lately, so
It's honestly
it might
overwhelming.
take us a
how
while
many.
to answer, but do keep sending them, and we read them all. We really do read all.
Yeah,
all
we
of
read
them,
all of
so,
them, yeah.
Like keep sending them, and we'll definitely respond. And
Give us a rating on wherever you're listening to your podcast.
yeah, and keep up with the reviews, like all of the reviews that you're giving us.
All the reviews. We really look
Keep up
forward
with
to
the
those.
Instagram DMs that you've been sending us, like all of.
We love our fans, basically. Like we love you guys.
Also,
we want to
like,
hear from
buy
you.
us some more coffees. We had some anonymous buyers of coffee recently, and they were anonymous, but we won't name their names, but like, yeah, just like keep it up, guys.
Yeah, keep buying us coffee so we can get that cool microphone that we want.
Yeah, and that buying us a coffee link is of course in our link in the bio of Instagram.
Yes.
And, love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you. Bye. Mwah.